praise to the Blessed One. Dear friend, today, February 6, 2019, at Brahma Vihara Meditation Center, I would like to deliver Sutta number 20, Vitakka Santana Sutta from Ajjivanikaya. The removal of distracting thoughts. Thus have I heard on one occasion the Blessed One was living at Savatthi in Jata's group, Anathapindika's park. There he addressed the bhikkhus thus, Bhikkhus, Venerable Sir, they replied, the Blessed One said this. So when the Buddha was leaving the Jata's group, Anathapindika's park, at that time, he delivered this talk to the monks. He said how to overcome unwholesome thoughts from the mind. So when also unwholesome thought arises in our mind, what we have to do? We have to think wholesome. Like sensual desire arise, and we have to think the wholesome. Don't pay attention to the unwholesome. Like when we meditate, sensual desire arises, right? What will we do? This is unwholesome. We recognize it and release it. Don't pay attention there continuously and take the relaxed step. And tension and tightness, relax it in your head, in your whole body, and bring up the wholesome thought. That means here in this sutta said that pay attention to the wholesome thought. That means bring up the wholesome thought and keep the wholesome thought continuously. So here Buddha explained very nicely, because when a bhikkhu is pursuing the higher mind, from time to time he should give attention to 5 signs. What are the 5? Here, bhikkhus, when a bhikkhu is giving attention to some sign and owing to that sign, there arise in him evil, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, connected with hatred, and connected with delusion. Then he should give attention to some other sign connected with what is wholesome. You see, when unwholesome, when sensual desire arises, you have to think non-sensual, non-desire. When sensual desire arises, so you have to think the wholesome. When hatred arises, you have to think wholesome. You have to pay attention to the wholesome. When delusion arises, pay attention to the wholesome. When he gives attention to some other sign connected with what is wholesome, then any evil, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, and with delusion are abandoned in him and subside. You see? It's clear, right? Then your mind will be subside. With the abandoning of them, his mind becomes steadied internally, quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. So this is what I change, because in that book you will get a concentration. So I put here the collectedness. Your mind will be collected, tranquil. You know, just as a skilled carpenter, this is the simile. Buddha is going to give a simile to understand better. A skilled carpenter or his apprentice might knock out, remove, and extract a coarse speck by means of a fine one. So I read again this simile. Just as a skilled carpenter or his apprentice might knock out, remove, and extract. You see, knock out, remove, extract, the same meaning. A coarse speck by means of a fine one. So too, when a bhikkhu gives attention to some higher sign connected with what is wholesome, his mind becomes steadied internally, quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. Your mind will be collected. So this is the first sign Buddha talk about to the bhikkhus, And then second sign, if while he is giving attention to some other sign connected with what is wholesome, there still arise in him evil and unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, and with delusion, then he should examine the danger in those thoughts thus. You see, even though you have wholesome, still unwholesome will come. Then you have to examine the danger in those thoughts thus. These thoughts are unwholesome. They are reprehensible. They result in suffering. You see, one who understands, when wholesome thought arises, they understand that because of this, I have to suffer. This unwholesome thought arises in my mind, and then my meditation will go negatively. Will not progress. When he examines the danger in those thoughts, then any evil, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, with delusion, are abandoned in him and subside. With the abandoning of them, his mind becomes steadied internally, quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness, just as a man or a woman, youngful, and fond of ornaments, would be horrified, humiliated, and disgusted if the carcass of a snake or a dog or a human being were hung around his or her neck. You understand that?
Yeah.
You see, it's so disgusting, right?
Yeah.
So too, when a bhikkhu examines the danger in those thoughts, like that, you see, like what? Like horrified, humiliated, and disgusted. So all those things when hung in your neck, what did you feel? So bad as smell. So too, when a bhikkhu examines the danger in those thoughts, his mind becomes steadied internally, quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. Your mind will be like that, collectedness. So this is the second sign. And then third one. You see, if you understand one, the first sign, second sign is easier. Just only little bit change. Buddha only change only little bit. And if you understand second one, then third sign will be easier to understand. Now, the third sign, if while he is examining the danger in those thoughts, there still arise in him evil, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, and with delusion, then he should try to forget those thoughts and should not give attention to them. When he tries to forget those thoughts and does not give attention to them, then any evil, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, and with delusion are abandoned in him and subside. With the abandoning of them, his mind becomes steadied internally, quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. Just as, you see, he's given another simile. Just as a man with good eyes who did not want to see forms that had come within range of sight would either shut his eyes or look away. So too, when a bhikkhu tries to forget those thoughts and do not give attention to them, his mind becomes steadied internally, quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. Right? So this is the number 3. So we have 2 more. And the sutta will be finished. Right? Not so long.
Yeah.
So how many have you learned?
3.
3. So the 3 had a different simile. Buddha gave different example, different simile. And then the number 4, first one is unwholesome. Second one is wholesome. First one is unwholesome. When unwholesome thought arises, you have to think the wholesome.
First one.
First one.
Yeah.
Second one, when wholesome, your mind is already wholesome, but still unwholesome arises, then what will you do? Then you have to think this is danger, this is like disgusting. You have to think that way.
Yeah.
So that in that way you can abandon very easily. And then third one,
Is don't pay attention.
don't pay attention there.
Forget it. Yeah.
You see now fourth one, only just little bit different, right? Other everything's okay. While he's trying to forget those thoughts and is not giving attention to them, there still arise in him evil and unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, and with delusion. Then he should give attention to stilling the thought formation of those thoughts. When he gives attention to stilling the thought formation of those thoughts, then any evil, unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, and with delusion are abandoned in him and subside. It's almost the same, right? You understand?
Yeah.
With the abandoning of them, his mind becomes steadied internally, quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. And Buddha is going to give another example, another simile. Just as a man walking fast might consider, why am I walking fast? What if I walk slowly? And he would walk slowly. Then he might consider, why am I walking slowly? What if I stand? And he would stand. Then he might consider, why am I standing? What if I sit? And he would sit. Then he might consider, why am I sitting? What if I lie down? And he would lie down. By doing so, he would substitute for each grosser posture 1 is subtler.
Yeah.
So too, when a bhikkhu gives attention to stilling the thought formation of those thoughts, his mind becomes steadied internally, quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. If while he is giving attention to stilling the thought formation of those thoughts, there still arise in him evil and unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, and with delusion. Then, with his teeth clenched, you see, and his tongue pressed against the roof of his mouth, he should beat down constraint, and crush mind with mind. When with his teeth clenched and his tongue pressed against the roof of his mouth, he beats down constraint and crushes mind with mind. Then any evil unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, and with delusion are abandoned in him and subside. With the abandoning of them, his mind becomes steadied, internally quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. Just as a strong man, okay, this example I can say later. When I went to the Bhikku Buddha temple, I went that temple, Chongye Monastery. I went upstate, Chongye Monastery for meditation twice. That time, another my teacher, his name is Dhammadipa. So he taught, he explained this one from the sutta, I think. So at that time I didn't understand actually. I think whatever the sutta explained, he delivered, you know. So if you read other suttas with the clans, you see, with his teeth clenched and his tongue pressed against the roof of his mouth, he should beat down, constrain and crush with mind to mind, mind with mind. In that way, you will get a pain. If you practice that way, you are increasing your craving. So Buddha said that open up your mind. You have to open up. See? So relaxing. What do you feel when you relax? I can say, with his tongue clenched and his tongue not pressed against the roof of his mouth. If you press against the roof of your mouth, then you are increasing your craving. This is according to my understanding. I never practiced. I practiced one time, I think long 3-4 years ago, but now I don't practice that way. After practicing like this, I never improve. I never improve. I practiced 10 days, 8 days like that. Never progress. My meditation never progress. But when I practice, not press against the roof of his mouth, by my mouth, he should not beat down, constrain, crunch mind with mind. That way your mind will be progress. Because your mind is tranquil. You just open up. You see? I'll tell you, okay? Don't be doubt. If doubt arises, also
No, I'm not doubt, I'm saying.
also hindrances arise in your mind. You see? Buddha said you have to overcome, you have to abandon your unwholesome thoughts. He already said. Just as a strong man might seize a weaker man by the head or shoulders and beat him down, constrains him and crush him, so too, when with his teeth clenched and his tongue pressed against the roof of his mouth, a bhikkhu beats down, constrains and crushes mind with mind. His mind becomes steadied, internally quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. So this paragraph, the last one, I will find out from the sutta, okay, from the original Pali. And then the last paragraph. Because when a bhikkhu is giving attention to some sign and owing to that sign, there arise in him evil and unwholesome thoughts connected with desire, with hate, and with delusion. Then, when he gives attention to some other sign connected with what is wholesome, any such evil, unwholesome thoughts are abandoned in him and subside, and with the abandoning of them, his mind becomes steadied, internally quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. when he examines the danger in those thoughts, when he tries to forget those thoughts and do not pay attention to them, when he gives attention to stilling the thought formation of those thoughts, when with his teeth clenched and his tongue pressed against the roof of his mouth, he beats down constraints and crushes mind with mind. Any such evil, unwholesome thoughts are abandoned in him, and his mind becomes steadied internally, quieted, brought to singleness and collectedness. This bhikkhu is then called a master of the courses of thought. He will think whatever thought he wishes to think, and he will not think any thought that he does not wish to think. He has severe craving. That means you can overcome, you can abandon all the craving, okay, and flung off, same, the fetters. He has severe craving, flung off the fetters, and with the complete penetration of conceit, he has made an end of suffering. You see? So, the last paragraph, first, second, third, fourth, fifth, summarize it.
Yeah.
Summarize it, and then Buddha said, because of this, because of that, because of this, because of that, because of this, and then everything happened like that. Okay?
Yeah.
That is what the Blessed One said. The bhikkhus were satisfied and delighted in the Blessed One words. So now you understand how to overcome unwholesome thoughts, right? When unwholesome thought arises, you don't pay attention there. You just recognize, release, relax. Bring up the wholesome thought, keep the wholesome thought continuously in that way. You can practice well. Your meditation will progress very well. Right? Why are you smiling? you love to smile, but I know you need to prove. Okay, I can give you proof. Don't worry. Give me time. Okay? Let me check the original Pali from the PTX. That one is original Pali. When I have in my computer, I have to check it. The last paragraph, I will check it. Okay? Do you have any question? So this sutta is very simple and very easy and short sutta, right?
Very simple.
Yeah. And do you know what does it mean sign?
Sign.
How to say in Pali?
Nimitta.
Nimitta. Yeah. So if you don't have question, I think we should share the merit, and then you can go your room. Then you can let us share merit. May suffering ones be suffering free, and the fearless be. May the grief initiate all grief, and may all beings find relief. May all beings share this merit that we have thus acquired for the acquisition of all kinds of happiness. May beings inhabiting space and earth, devils and nagas of mighty power, sharing this merit of ours. May they long protect the Buddha's dispensations. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.